Hello, hello. It is part 2 of our outdoor trick-or-treat sign that we started yesterday, but if you saw it, I was a little bit attacked by ants. I tried to get fancy because it was so beautiful out and do part 1 outside. Windy, couldn't really hear. Ants crawling all over. Absolutely not. So part 2, I'm back inside, and I wanted to catch you guys up before you get started on today's project, okay? I just wanted to be clear. I did do some trying of different glues yesterday, and I want to be honest with you. Go with the tried and true. E6000, okay? Let me tell you what happened. Beacon 3-in-1, usually a good fan fave because it's kind of got a gel-like substance, so it's really good to be able to attach if you don't want a real drippy, liquidy glue. It expanded and bubbled, so it looks kind of cool for a trick-or-treat sign, but absolutely not. I'm not sure if it was a reaction because I had it drying in the sun, but I wouldn't recommend it. This one, didn't even try because I read the back and it says it expands 3 to 4 times. And for the nature of our project, that's unacceptable. We can't have that. This one, I believe it said, yeah, interior, right on the front, interior. And my project is going outside, so didn't use that. Alas, leaves with the fave. So, what we're going to do is show you guys where we're at now. I'm going to just go ahead and make the mistakes so that you guys don't have to. A couple of things. I used brass findings to do the yellow portion of my A, which is going to be a little candy corn. I'm finishing the E with you guys. That's why that's not there. I'm going to do that on here live. Another thing is, I tried just so you don't have to do it. Look how janky that ore is. Absolutely not, guys. It's glued on there, so unfortunately I'm going to be stuck with it, but I did do kind of a cute little bat on a button to make it a little better, but look at this. This situation, it just, absolutely not. I wouldn't recommend that. I would either stencil or buy an O and an R for very cheap at the dollar store, or whatever. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the K with you guys as well. But you can see that the brass on the this color wood is not popping, and so you can tell that even from back here, it's going to be treat. The sign will say or treat, or treat, because there's no tricks around here. They're hiding. It does look cool up close though. I'm hoping in the sunshine that the glinty will work, but from afar you really can't see what the heck's going on. So a couple things before we get started. I did end up buying from the dollar store a package of those plastic bugs, and not only did I use them on this project, I have them hiding throughout. It's a ring. It was a bag of rings, and you got 50 rings for $1. I cut the ring part off the back very easily with a regular pair of scissors, and it had skulls as well in there, so I don't know if you can see, I actually hid some skulls in there. So this is just a collection of shells and beads and things that I found, buttons and things like that, and then I hid the shells, the skulls in there, because I kind of thought that was kind of a fun and funky thing that if somebody were to come up close and look at it, or if I decided to use it later, it would be fun. So that's what we're going to be making. It's 4 minutes in and I've done not a darn thing but talk. So I'm going to try and get better at getting right down to business. But I hope you enjoy my kind of crafty amusements. So getting down to it, let's go ahead and do the first letter. So I'm going to get my handy dandy pillow along with my handy dandy lap desk. Highly professional here, guys. And then what I've done just to make my life easier is I've separated out the elements that I'm going to need. So for the K, I'm going to use the rest of the things that I've got going on in here, which is buttons and different things. So what I did, I'm going to go ahead and use up the rest of this tube of E6000 because waste not, want not. I don't even know what that means, but don't waste is what I think it means. Comment if you know the actual meaning, or I can actually Google. I know how to Google. So what I found yesterday, I was in the sun and it was drying quite fast. I did one stem at a time, and I found that that was a really good way to get an even hold of anything without the glue going awry. So I really suggest you do the same. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my E6000. Again, you can get this. I'm going to post a link below, but you can get it at Walmart, any Home Depot, like any kind of home, Ace Hardware, any kind of hardware store. All right, so like I said, just one line of this for now, guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my buttons and I'm just going to lay them right on top, making my K spine. That worked out. Nice. One thing I will tell you, do your oar first and measure out halfway down the stem, because I should have done my oar around here, and now I have to kind of slightly squash my trick, and my tree is a little bit bigger. So just something to pre-plan ahead if you're doing this at home. So now I want to take out what I have to work with here so I can kind of see what I'm working with. And I'm going to go ahead and do another line. I would suggest you wait and do the little insects at the very end, because it's kind of fun to place them on top so that they're like right on the very top. But, oh shoot, I'm getting a text. Sorry for the buzz, guys. But Pier 1 is telling me that there's some sort of sale, so you know as soon. Oh shoot, Pier 1 is right next to where I wanted to already go, which is Home Depot. Darn it. I guess I have plans when Oz wakes up from his nap. Okay, focus, Merritt. So, another thing I want to tell you is if you have any like really, really large things, try to place them in a applicable spot, if that makes any sense. So like I have those two large buttons. I'm going to put it at the very bottom right of my K, almost like if you're writing the word trick and you like bring your K out and it's like bigger or flourishy. That's kind of the idea behind it. And then I'm going to also use my bigger buttons to go down and then I'll keep my smaller ones, because like a K, I'll make the smaller and the top of the K and then the bigger on the bottom. But I do have a little space here, so I want to have like a bat peeking out or something, so I'm going to tuck. That's another perfect use of the bat, is to tuck it in if you have a little extra room. I don't know if you can see there. But essentially what I did was I just took the rings and I held it on the little ring part, I held it, and then I used a gold and silver paint pen, and I just essentially, I'm going to go close up, don't mind the band-aid on my finger. Essentially I just highlighted their features. So instead of being little black rings, now they're little gold and silver bats. So I cut them off the ring, and now I'm using them to kind of place around here and there. So it just adds a little fun element to it. So I think I'll add a little silver bat to the bottom of this C. Boy, I just realized I always get hungry when I'm doing these videos. What's going on, guys? Okay. Now I'm going to do my last K. Oh, I wanted to also tell you, stupid, hello. Very importante. Use a white or light colored pencil to write on the wood your lines before you get started. Duh, that's a crucial step. Because if you don't do that, you won't know where to go and you won't be able to space things out correctly. So do yourself a favor and do that. And then the other thing is, if you have buttons, if you're using like, you can see I'm trying to use different materials, buttons that are like big and little to kind of show you how you do it. But if you have one that stands out, like it has one of the loops on the back of it that are quite deep, then what I did was I did two lower buttons on the side, and then I'm nestling this one in between so that that little nubbins hangs down in between the buttons. So that was just a good easy fix, and it still hits the glue and it still gets stuck, but I'm able to use those as well. Oh, here's Pouncer. He's saying, what's up, guys? Hey, Pouncer, you gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? Oh, good. Good job. Say hi for everyone. That's Sir Pounce-a-lot. I introduced him in another video, but if you haven't seen my videos, please subscribe, hit the subscribe and like button, comment, share with friends, do whatever you can do. I'm a total noob here. I really appreciate the support. And I think I'm gonna finish this K off with a bat because I think it looks cute. And the only other thing I have left is a spider, and that's kind of too wide. So now I just have to go and do the E, and then the sign is finished. Now, I don't want to tilt this up too much because I don't want anything to fall that's still a little wet. But overlap, use what you have, guys. If you need to go get something, I would just get like a mixed bag of seed beads and different beads. Pick a color scheme that really pops off the back. Like I said, I made the mistake of doing the bronze, and that this silver all the way would have been good, but bronze on there really makes it unreadable unless it's glinting in the sunlight. So conversely, you can see the white, you know, if you're, you know, really far away. So the next thing we have to do is the E, and then we are done with this. And what I did was I broke it up in between naps, so it took from yesterday morning to today now, and it's 10. So that's kind of how you can plan it to do, is run outside whenever you have a few minutes. I would recommend doing it outside if I were you, just because you can not have to worry about the kids hitting it or knocking it over or whatever. Probably more likely outside than inside if you're like me. I don't know. Your situation might be different, but wherever you think is the safest space for this to be able to be left alone and not messed with for a little while it dries, you know, a good day, then that's what you should do. So now I wanted to show you this technique. How did I get this? It is not as hard as you think. All I did was I did a line of the E6000, okay, and then I literally just pick up, okay, some, and put it on there. That's it. I'm not even, so it's gonna roll all over, but yep, I've got pearls in there too. So I'm just picking it up and putting it right on there. Don't get crazy with it. This is not a perfect science. You do not have to feel like you have to place these with a tweezer or anything like that. Ooh, look at that cool ring. I'm gonna put that around that because that's kind of cool, and end that off with it. If there is a special bead or two that you really want to make sure you incorporate, obs, find that and put it in there, but for the most part, that's it. It's as little as that. It's just you line the beads up, you drop them down, and push it into the E6000. And E6000 is not super runny, so it's not going to push all over the place. It kind of keeps its shape for a while. So, what am I making? An E. Good God, let me not forget what I'm doing. So now, I'm going to do, this isn't actually taking too long to do, so I'm going to do, I'll do 2, and then I'll go back and do the 3rd. Just because, as I've mentioned before, I have a air conditioning unit that blows like a friggin' leaf blower, so, which is very fortunate. I'm not complaining whatsoever because I'm hot-blooded. Oh my gosh, watch out for this. I just stuck that. So you just, and oh, I'm avoiding picking up any of the skulls at this moment because I'm going to use the skulls, but I'm going to use them after after I've placed the main line, and I'll cover over anywhere that looks wimpy. And so that's the idea behind using the skulls as an aid rather than a hindrance, you know. Okay. Now I'm going to just do this middle one. Are you guys watching okay? And you can follow along with me. Sometimes I like the videos that go insanely fast and you have to, like, you know, hold your finger down to pause at certain places. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I like to do the craft with the person. So I think that Naptime Crafter is going to be mostly column B, because I like doing the craft and I like showing you how to do it and talking through some things that I'm learning in the process and not just going super fast. Okay. The last little bit of my E is going to go down. I'm absolutely gluing these beads to my nails right now, but that's alright, I'll figure it out later. Wonder if you can just hear that my air conditioning went off just now. Okay. So once you've kind of sufficiently formed your thing, then what you're going to want to do is take your skulls, the two or don't cram them all in there, just do a couple. Makes it nicer if you have them be hidden and not like overwhelming. And take your skulls and do a little bit of your E6000 on the back because it's curved. Again, it was a ring. And just put it anywhere that seems a little wimpy, like you see the wood too much through it. And it'll just cup right over that letter and create a little added interest. And it's kind of nice if they're all facing different ways because it adds to the creepy factor. And there you have it. So I like this project because it's flexible with what you have on hand. You can use whatever colors you have, whatever you want to do. You can do the candy corn A or not. I just chose to add that because what I like to do when I'm making holiday stuff generally is make it as the base of it as neutral as possible, and then add flourishing and like different ribbons and things like that as the years go by so I can keep it fresh. So like, pardon me, this year the buffalo check is everywhere in your mother. You can't get away from it. As a textile designer, it is like laughable how hilariously easy that is to make. But hey, a polka dot and a check and a stripe is one of those classic designs that is back year after year because it's easy and it's cheap to create. And so I like to add flourishes like that wherever I can. So it's a little bit of a trendy pop, but it doesn't mean that I have to rebuy everything. And it means that I can spend a little more time and spend a little more money on the things that are going into this so that I can keep it for years and I know that it means something to me. So if you want to like incorporate different little pieces of brooches or different earrings that you've lost one of or different things that are going to make you smile, I think that's what it's all about. Oh shoot, 18.5 minutes. Bye guys.